Today, I would like to tell you the story of Howleglass. Howleglass was a trickster, a fraudster. Today he would be called a con man, and he had many faces and many professions. One day he was a priest, another a painter, another a monk. Today he is a physician, and he arrived in a small town with a long robe and a pointed physician's hat and a leather bag that clanked with the tools of his trade. And he took up residence in the inn, and he told anyone who would listen that he could cure anything, the sickness, the pestilence, even the pox. Nothing was beyond him, but for a price, of course. Now, the reason he chose this town was he knew that on the outskirts of the town was a hospital. And the director of the hospital, it was known, worried about how few patients he cured. So in the evening, the director travelled to the inn and sought him out. "I can cure your patients," said Howleglass, "even if they have a sickness, a pestilence, or the pox. But of course, it will be for a price." The director didn't mind the price and offered 100 silver coins. Now a labouring man would earn 1 silver coin in 6 months. So he readily agreed. The next day he arrived at the hospital and asked for a room to be made available. There was a table and a chair on one side for himself, a quill and a sheet of paper. On the other side, a chair for the patient. And each patient was brought in, and Howleglass, in a very knowledgeable voice, would ask them their symptoms. And as they spoke, he would scratch his chin and scribble on the paper. And for the first, he said, "I like your face, and you look lucky to me, so I am going to tell you a secret. For tomorrow I shall burn the sickest person in this hospital. And when the ashes lie before me, I will make them into a potion, and I will give that potion to all the other patients, and they will be cured. But tell no one." And this was the secret he told to every single patient. In the evening, so the patients could see, he got staff to build a big bonfire in the courtyard with a stake in the middle. Now in these times, people had seen people burnt at the stake, and they knew what was left afterwards. So when the next morning Howleglass stood on a bench and the patients were lined up before him, they shivered as they heard him pronounce, "I would want to know who is the sickest of you all." And they looked at each other, and people with coughs held it back. People with bad backs stood up straight, and those with limps moved around on both legs to ensure that they would not be the sickest. In fact, they began to call out, "Oh, not me. I'm fine. In fact, I think I am better." And they began to walk toward the gate and hurry. Even those with limps would hurry along until eventually there were no patients in the courtyard. The director was delighted. His entire hospital cured in one go, and he handed over a leather purse with 100 silver coins in it. And Howleglass took it and left the town. As the days and the week went by, the patients gradually returned, their symptoms still with them, and the director a poorer but wiser man. And that is the end of my story for today.